Hey guys, Cardboard Box Productions here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Luigi's Mansion. This time for my review, unlike my other reviews when I just kind of do it in one take off the top of my head, I'm going to have categories for it, and I've set it up ahead of time, so yeah. Anyway, let the categories begin. The story of this game is kind of interesting. The story is Luigi has won a mansion in a contest. But the thing about this contest is that he didn't even enter it. So, judging suspicion, seeing how it's in a haunted forest, he asks Mario to meet him there, just in case something bad happens. However, when he shows up at the house, Mario is nowhere to be found. Worse yet, Luigi finds that the mansion happens to be haunted. Luckily for him, he's not alone. There is a ghost-catching professor named Professor Egad, who might as well have worked for the Ghostbusters at some point, who has been ghost hunting for most of his life. Unfortunately, something bad has happened to him as well. Professor Egad has spent his years collecting ghosts and has captured ghosts and turned them into paintings. Yes, he turns the spirits of dead people into paintings. And King Blue and Boolossus managed to escape and freed all the ghosts from his paintings and put them, and also the mansion had appeared only a couple days ago as well. So, equipped with EGAD's Poltergust 2000, Luigi heads out to retrieve the 22 portrait ghosts, defeat the Boos, and find his brother Mario. All in all, the story is pretty good. Considering this was a GameCube launch title, the game does a good job of showing what the GameCube is capable of, as opposed to the N64, such as the detail in the rooms and the ghosts. They look great graphical-wise. They look spooky, but also colorful at the same time, which is a pretty good accomplishment considering this is a launch type. As for the art style, the game tries to look like a mansion, which it does a good job of. It gets pretty creepy when the lights are out, especially later in the game with some of the rooms being creepier and one big event that shows up at one point. As for the music, just like Punch-Out, it's the same track but with different instruments. However, this game occasionally changes the track, but for the most part, it's the same music track but with different instruments. But also like Punch-Out, it is a very good track, even better than the one for Punch-Out, and it creates some pretty good atmosphere at points. As for the gameplay in this game, this is basically how it works. You can check objects by pressing A, and then to get ghosts to come out, and then there's also the combat system in this game. Basically, you stun ghosts with your flashlight, and then suck them up with your vacuum cleaner, the Poltergust 3000 or 4000, I forget what thousand. Anyway, the combat system is very fun to use. And that is what I have to say about the combat. At one point in the game, Luigi releases all the Boos from this cage that they were in the mansion, and you have to go find them. You have to search for the Boos in rooms that you've already lit up by defeating all the ghosts in them. And since they can go through walls, they can sometimes be a pain to catch because they all have different HP. But Yeah, and you need at least 40 of them to complete the game. Throughout the mansion, there is also money to be found. It can affect the ending that you get at the end, but other than that, it's mostly just there for the sake of collecting. There are also the 22 portrait ghosts that had been released from the paintings that Egad had turned them into. These portrait ghosts have their own personalities, backstories, and creative means of defeating them. And they're essentially the bosses of this game, all having 100 HP. Interesting. They're not all out to get you, though. There's one portrait ghost that's actually willing to help you, Madame Clairvoya. Basically, throughout the game, there are 5 of Mario's dropped items that you have to bring her. And every time you bring her one, she'll tell something that she can use her fortune-telling powers to see that she knows about Mario. Oh, so she's actually in it to help you. At the end of every area of the game, you'll go back to Egad's secret laboratory out in the forest to turn the portrait ghosts you've gotten back into paintings. Even though I don't see why this is a good idea, seriously, stealing spirits just to turn them into paintings, you might as well let's do it. Anyway, you'll be graded on how well you do on completing a portrait ghost. And the color frame will indicate if you got a bronze, gold, or silver, and the picture will change depending on what rank you got. And that's all I have to say about the gameplay. As for issues with this game, I only have one big issue with it, which is the boos. They're not so bad at the beginning of the game, but later in the game, like Area 4, they are really a pain to get. And that's all I have to say about issues. Goodbye. In the end, I give Luigi's Mansion a 5 out of 5. Go get this game. It's worth your money.